Jen and I'm doing the Socionics questionnaire. Okay, I do apologise if my camera seems a little bit out of sync. It's not the best one, to be honest, but will persevere. So the first question is, what do you study or do for a living? How did you come to do that, and what do you like or dislike about it? So I work in customer services for my local council. I do admin duties like answer the telephone, arrange appointments, signpost people to correct department. So I do them duties mostly, which it's a hybrid between admin work and customer service, which I came to do this, my current job. It wasn't by design as such. I mean, when I left school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I'd wanted to go to university and study creative writing or literature, but I didn't go because I couldn't really see how I could make it as a writer, and I knew I had to kind of just get a job, earn some money and make my own way in the world. So I never did uni. I did do college though, but I done a business and IT administration course. And while I was doing this course, at the same time I had a part-time weekend job, which was in retail as a customer advisor. I worked in a little shop which sold wool, long skirts, like the type of garments like older ladies would wear, but it was quite a traditional shop, and a lot of people who worked there were significantly older than me, but I really did enjoy it as my weekend job, and doing that while studying, I felt like I was making, concrete progress, that I was doing the most sensible thing, even though, I wasn't at school and left school and thought I really, really want to work in like retail or customer services or get an office job, but to me, I couldn't really see like the other alternative. Like, I wasn't interested in any other subjects like going into law or criminology or architecture, which they were all teaching like the things that my cousins or my friends went off to do, but I wasn't really passionate, aside from writing. But how I reconciled it with myself was I'm probably wouldn't make it like a whole career off of being a writer, because that really, it's quite a rarity to have that type of success. So I thought, if I get a proper job but I do writing in my free time, I'm doing the best of both worlds. But then when I look back on everything now, I think, well, I probably shot myself in the foot. Like, I put myself down, and there was I wouldn't be as good an author as J.K. Rowling or Stephen King, but I probably could have gave it a little bit of a go, and and now also I look back on other career paths, like when I was at school I did work experience at a special needs school because my brother's got autism, and I found that really fulfilling and rewarding. So I look back on when I was at high school and having to make my decisions on what to do after school. I look back and I think, why didn't I kind of go down the child care, social services, looking after people with special needs route. Or likewise, my current job now, because I combine customer service, like looking after people, having good positive relationships with but doing the effective behind the scenes work to make sure we get their needs met and the queries answered. But I feel like I probably could do quite well in HR, like with interacting with people and making sure everyone felt valued and looked after at work, and having their needs met. And I probably could have like gone into HR training when I was a bit younger too. So how I am now, I do enjoy my job. I feel like I do help the customers, like residents who live in our local area, because I'm a customer advisor for the local council, and I do get on well with my colleagues. At times I just look back on everything and I think, oh, there's other branches I could have gone down, which now I feel like I don't know if I can. It's harder to get into different aspects of a career when you're older. I make it sound like I'm ancient, but I'm 27, but I just kind of feel like I'm stuck now on this path, which I'm not particularly like happy about, because I feel like I maybe could have done more, like my creative writing, or set up different approaches like doing special needs education or going down the HR route. So, but I do like my work. I know it could be a lot worse than what I'm stuck in now, and in a way I do enjoy doing the admin side of like keeping everything organised, and I do learn a lot of different subjects when I'm at work, because my job is to kind of know a little bit about every department. That knowledge is always changing because new things happen, and especially with the current pandemic, my role is changing quite a lot, so it does keep me mentally engaged in that aspect. Right. What else do you do on a daily basis? What are your interests and hobbies, and why do you do them? Well, usually what I do, I'm not really proactive with my hobbies as such. I'm more passive and active ones. But before lockdown, I did join my local theatre group to try and get me mixing in a different social circle, like sort of get me out my shell a bit, and also engage in singing and dancing. It's something like musical and theatre. It's stuff I've always watched other people do, like on the big screen or on stage, and I thought I'd love to be a part of that, but I never really felt that I could try it. Like I didn't feel like I would be good enough and I'd make a fool of myself. But I did go ahead and join that group, and the rehearsals we were doing for the show we were meant to perform in April, which was Sister Act, I was finding it really enjoyable, like learning new skill of like how to sing properly in like the different ranges like soprano or alto, and meeting the new people. Like I wasn't there in like major social butterfly, but I felt like I was just starting to get a bit comfortable around everyone else, and I felt like I was like my contribution was appreciated. So I know it's a way for me to express my creative side and my feelings, but in a non-threatening environment. Because when you're acting, it's, you don't have to be you on the stage, it's someone else. So I was just going to be a member of the backing, like the chorus, like singing in the background, dancing in the background, pulling faces. But I was really looking forward to doing that. It just never came to pass. But in lockdown I have enjoyed watching the the recorded like musicals and plays that have been on, like Les Miserables. I probably said that completely wrong. Hamilton, Phantom of the Opera, Miss Saigon, like Gypsy. I just enjoy watching them, or watching the film versions of like Oliver Twist. What was the other one I watched recently? Sweet Charity, and I kind of enjoy musicals, especially like I like films, especially like films which are based on a bit of a fantasy epic saga, like to be cliched, Lord of the Rings, Pirates Caribbean, because I like the whole like the historical aspect and the fantasy of like cursed treasure and stuff. I like actually anything Disney really. I just like how it's fantasy stuff and there's like a narrative that's usually well good versus bad, but the bad isn't all bad. There's something mostly redeemable about the bad, and the good sometimes go through their own journey and sometimes say or do the wrong thing, and there's like usually magic and stuff and everything works out in the end. So oh god, sorry, I forgot what I was saying. I was saying about what I'd been watching and what type of fiction I enjoy. So I like I like reading as well. I read a lot of fiction based books, but I quite like a non-fiction like guide if it's something I'm interested in, and that tends to be about folklore, history, animals, and I'm really quite squeamish as a person, but I enjoy reading about some medical stuff and psychological stuff. So yeah, I'm quite a big reader. My favourite genre, I would say it's probably, at the moment it's historical fiction, but with supernatural elements in it. So when I'm using at the moment, no, not at the moment, when I read before, it was called The Silent Companions, and it was set in Victorian times, and there were these cardboard cutouts which kept appearing and disappearing and changing faces, which it sounds really ridiculous, but it was quite atmospheric because throughout all of it there was a tension of is the main character, has she gone mad, or is it actually something sinister and going on? And there was another character in it who was she was a witch, I think. Or yeah, no, she was a witch, but she had a daughter, and the daughter was like born of Satan. So I like I like the traditional quaint settings, so like historical fiction, like the Victorian times or older. I like them, but when I like weird things happening, like the supernatural, to kind of, I think it feels like it's different enough to our reality that it's fascinating, and I like the mix of a civilized romantic culture and something a bit mysterious and slightly dark. What else? Another hobby of mine, but I don't know if you class walking as a hobby or no. Walking's probably an activity I enjoy doing. Sorry, my other screen went off where my questions are on. sorry. Yeah, so walking's probably not a hobby, but something I engage in and enjoy because I like just getting out in nature really, and like animals. So in a way, getting out for walks a chance for me to see animals in their natural habitat. And also when I walk, I can't just let my mind wander and go off and reflect over the stories I've seen or read, or yeah, create my own stories in my head, or think about all the different aspects in day-to-day life, like how are things going to work out, like what are the possible ways they could work out. One of my hobbies is writing. I like writing. I don't do it a lot though, and I don't really share it because it's personal to me. Because I've never really wrote a full-length story and finished it. Like I haven't had the perseverance, so I really would like to. One of my friends does that quite a lot. Like she can write a full narrative and shares it, and it's cohesive. But with me, I like doing short little bits when I'm inspired. So like tends to be like lyrics or poetry, or one shots where it's like just literally a scene between characters, or a scene with a character mulling over stuff, and then that's that. So I probably do need to try and write a bit more, and maybe push myself to try and do it for a bit longer because I do enjoy it. Right, next question. What are your values and why? So quite hard. I think, well, I value my relationships with my family. I get on well with them, but really there's a genuine love between us. I, I just, yeah, I think my family mean a lot, like everything to me. And likewise, I do really value my relationships with my friends, the small amount I have, but I do really value them, and I feel like we know each other inside and out. And so that's what I probably should have said about my family as well. I mean my close family, like my parents and my two brothers. Like I feel like I know them inside and out, and I think they know me really well too. And we sometimes we do butt heads, as everyone does, but we genuinely just enjoy spending time with each other, and it's a mutual support for each other. Like that's, so yeah, I do really value like relationships I have with my my close family and friends. I really treasure them, and treasure loyalty, compassion, like always trying to see something from the other person's perspective, and being kind to people because you don't always know 100% what's going on in their mind or in their own life. So I guess call it sympathy with the devil. Like someone might do something or say something which is really horrible and really upsetting, but you have to see them as a human as well and think, right, well, what's led them to be this way, and feel sorry for them. What else do I value? Yeah, so I said loyalty. I said I value my connections with others. Compassion. I said that. Kind of. I do really value just people being. Um, Maybe, yeah, people just being, true to themselves and willing to see the other perspectives, like people, if people are true to themselves, value people being like authentic rather than trying to change themselves to fit in. And I don't know what I'm trying to say, like I think if everyone like in the world was like sort of told explicitly, look, you just be yourself, you don't have to change to fit in or be accepted or be safe, you can just be yourself and you'll be happy, you'll be safe, and the world would be a better place if you are just yourself. I don't know what I'm trying to say there really, like I think I value like people being authentic, likewise people being authentic, but also people letting others know that they hold space for individualism, like for the other person to be like true to themselves. I don't know what I'm quite meant by that. Well, I don't know, I value what I'd say hard work, but in the sense that just try and do your best, do the best job you can, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you have the good intentions and you put in the elbow work, that's good enough. Describe your relationships with family and friends. What do you like and dislike about them? Yeah, that kind of links in with what I'd said. So my close family who like I still live with, it's my mom, my dad. I've got two brothers. I've got my older one who's a year old and my younger one who's a year younger, and he's one who's got autism. We do get on really well, I think, because my parents are quite laid back most of the time. They're both a similar temperament to each other, and that we like prefer like going out doing the work and then coming back and like relaxing and try and enjoy the moment, which I do really appreciate that energy, because I feel like I get a bit more grounded as well being around them. It's my older brother who's a bit more outgoing, and he likes going out and meeting his friends and partying, but I get on well with him because we're both quite sensitive, and he's got a bit of a silly sense of humour which I enjoy, so we work together that way. And also he's quite a flexible person, as am I, so when we've been on holiday together, if he's wanted to go out for like a late night drink and I've wanted to go back to room early, I've just said, look, you stay out if you want to, I'm going to go back, but I'm fine to go back, I'll just go back to my room, just text me when you're back to your room just so I know you're safe. But yeah, like I wouldn't make him feel bad and he wouldn't make me feel like boring for going back early. So we're kind of on a different wavelength at times, but we do get on. And my younger brother, I get on really well with him, but at times I think he gets frustrated by me because he thinks I'm a bit too he thinks I'm a bit too silly sometimes, because like I'll be making up song lyrics or fussing over him a bit, and he gets a bit, just go away. But sarcastic as well. He can be sarcastic with me, like when I've asked him direct questions like, who's your favourite sister? Even though I'm the only sister he's got, he's like, well, I guess I better say you, I've got no one else. So he does that, or gets a bit exasperated with me, but we do get on really well, and I see his like little sarcasms and things with me, they are actually his way of being playful, because he does, I think he does love me, and he's not, the way he is, he's not really a gushy person. So him being a bit teasing is a bit, him being like, you know, affectionate. So yeah, with my mum, we're both, I get compared to her quite a lot because people say I've got that, because she likes, she's like reading a lot, and she's a bit like, or nurturing towards other people, and sometimes a bit scattered, like leaves paperwork everywhere, or like she'll speak and then interrupt herself to come up with another story, which I'm not quite so much like that, but I think she's, but sometimes it feels like a box of frogs in the brain, but in a good way. Like, I sometimes, she makes me laugh as well, and I feel like I can speak to her about a lot of stuff, which I know my friends say they wouldn't really speak to their mum about that. So I feel I'm lucky that we have quite a close relationship, and we feel more like friends than mum and daughter. But times I want my independence a little bit, like a tiny bit of distance, where she like, you know, if I'm say I'm gonna go off for a drive today, and I'm sort of doing it because I want to be by myself, she'll be like, oh, I want to come too. Like, she can be a little bit clingy, but kind of working on them boundaries a little, like, because like I said, I love my family, but I do really need my own space, and I would really like, yeah, my own space, and to fly the nest, so to speak. And with my dad, he's the most logical one out of all of us. He's very pragmatic, not really touchy-feely affectionate, but his heart's in the right place, and we do get on really well because he's quite introverted like I am, and we're both like watching these nature channel documentaries, and you know, sometimes especially with this pandemic that's gone on, and when he's seen stuff in the news that another politician has done something wrong, or seen people breaking the distance rules in the street, and I'll be like, oh yes, I totally agree, and I like listening to him, because I'm not really into politics as such, and I don't really keep up with the latest news, but when he talks about that, I listen, and I let him know I'm listening, because with other people he says, and I've seen it too, they kind of just airbrush him over and don't listen and get exasperated with him, whereas I just listen to him, and I might not really remember what he said afterwards, or get enthusiastic about it, but I think if at least I let him know I'm listening, and don't make him feel like a nuisance, so I think we're quite comfortable in each other's company, definitely. I think there was something about friends in that one as well. Oh yeah, with my friends, I'm like one or two close ones. When I'm closest with, we do sometimes butt heads, but it's more along the lines where she said something that I felt like was a bit blunt, or a personal attack, and I distanced from her, and I distanced from her, and then I feel bad for distancing, so then we'll reconnect, and she sometimes thinks I'm being a bit too sensitive, and she'll stop talking to me for a bit because she needs that break. She walks on eggshells, and I sometimes walk on eggshells around her because I don't want her to be blunt with me, but she likewise doesn't. She likewise doesn't want me to be too anxious or emotional. So I mean, we do get on well, and we've gone on holiday together, and she's definitely the more dominant energy one. We'll connect over our love for books and travel. Sorry, I had to think it. Sounds bad. I sometimes think maybe we're so, like, we're still connected and we're close, maybe because we were friends from high school, so where's that loyalty going through? And I feel like sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, I don't know if we would really be friends now if we met now, but we are still friends, and I would class as one of my closer friends because she knows a lot about me and me her. Just at times it does feel like a bit of work, but on both sides. It's not her and it's not all me. I think we just sometimes we brush, and then it's not the same, but an MBTI term she types as an ISFP. So as well, I can see that. I think she definitely uses SE. Which, yeah. Oh, I can't think what else to say. Right. Yeah. What do I look for in friends and in romantic relationships? So, what I look for in friends, well, loyalty, compassion, understanding, someone who will give me my own space but does like take a genuine interest in like our relationship and what I do and what they do. Like we genuinely want to progress the relationship and be close, like intimate, like mentally, like sort of sharing like details of our lives with each other, and being emotional support and physical support at times. Like if I needed something, like I've run out of sugar, they'll get me the bag of sugar because I would likewise do that to them. So I'd want a reciprocal friendship, and like I said, I would like someone who would understand I do need my own space, but also someone who would go on adventures with me as well, like would travel with me, or would spend time together just content speaking about everything and anything. In romantic relationships, I guess I'm looking for similar to what I said for friendship, but with a bit more, I don't know, I've never really had a romantic relationship. I'd say, yeah, look for friendship, understanding, someone who let their feelings be known and didn't have it ambiguous. Like if they said they liked me, be like it's clear they do. Like I'm not saying would have to sing me a love ballad or anything, but just even if it did like practical stuff for me, like fixing I don't know, fixing a car sounds so cliched. Yeah, if it's like, say if I said I've got a problem, I'm not sure where I'm going for this trip next weekend, and then if they like sent me a message with like step by step route planner of how to get there and in the best time and cool things to do when I'm there, like I would appreciate that. I don't really know. And what do I look for? I'd say, yeah, physical intimacy and like, yeah, like affection, wanting to share a life together, like both being loyal and committed to, yeah, having a life together. I don't know. Maybe might have to come back to this one if and when I get a romantic partner. Right, what conflicts have you encountered recently with other people? Why did they happen? And which kinds seem to happen on a regular basis? And most recently, it's not really a major conflict though, so I don't know if it counts, but it was the other night and our printer broke. My dad was trying to fix it. I sat next to him and was like, oh, I'll help. And he first said, he was like, no, I can do it. Quite curtly, because he likes just doing stuff by himself. And he's like, he sees himself as the expert with IT. But he was still struggling, so I said again, look, I can help. Is the paper in properly? Have you done this or that? And he again said, no, you're fine, just leave me be, I can do it. And yeah, I did back off. And then again, a few minutes later, he seemed to be getting more annoyed with it. So I went over again and again said, look, I want me to try and help you. I can find something online which might. And he like bit my head off and was like, no, now can you please stop asking, you annoy me. And then I got up and stomped off downstairs because I was a bit upset, because I was thinking, well, how dare he be like that? I'm trying to help. Why has he done that? Like, how dare he? But then I sat and I thought about it, and I know he's the type of person, he does like trying to fix, like I said, he sees himself as an IT, like fixer, who can do everything himself. And I thought maybe me asking, like I asked to help, but then me keep offering to help maybe made him think, like feel a bit patronised and think, well, she doesn't trust that I can do it, she thinks she knows better. And rather than be like receptive to brainstorming solutions or getting a bit of help, he shut that down. So I did feel upset that, you know, he'd kind of shut it down, like shut me down for trying to help. And I think likewise he was probably upset that I kept offering to help, because he probably did think it was really patronising. But so it wasn't a major thing, because a few minutes later it didn't get sorted, but it had broken anyway, couldn't be repaired. But he calmed down, and I just thought, look, after I'd thought to myself, look, maybe that's why he bit my head off. It's not personal. I just thought, right, I'm gonna let that one go, and we're fine. Yeah, we didn't, no big dramas or anything. But yeah, I do tend to, my conflicts with others, it does tend to be when there's been a little bit of a misunderstanding. Like I might see someone as being too harsh, offensive. Like I said with my close friend, like I can sometimes take her words a bit too much to heart and see them as personal attacks when they're actually just the way she expresses herself. Or people get a bit annoyed with me because I'm a bit, say it, but also a bit wishy-washy and overly sensitive. Like you just have to look at me a certain way, and I'll get really defensive and bristle and impassive. Like I'd rarely like shout and accuse people of stuff or get up in their face and challenge them. I can skulk away, but I'll go silent, like kind of door slam people. And that's not good either. Like my way of dealing with conflict's not really the best, which I'm gonna work on that. But yeah, that's where I see most conflicts existing, is me taking things a bit too much to heart and being overly touchy or bristly, and then likewise other people perhaps being a bit too like matter of fact and cold when they don't mean to be cold, but it just comes across that way. Let's check. What are your strengths? What do people like about you, and what do you like about yourself? I'll draw back on my recent appraisal I had at work, which my manager commended me for. She was saying like I'm just really like lovely and kind to people. Like I'll listen out to anyone and I'll try and help them as best as I can. Though likewise, I do sometimes put others before myself, and then when I don't look after my own needs, I get a bit overstressed and overwhelmed, and then that's when I perhaps get a bit more overly touchy about stuff, and that's when conflicts happen. But yeah, people like me also because being told I'm quite open-minded and flexible and accommodating with others. Like I'll consider them when I make decisions or my day-to-day life. Like I'll try and do what's right by them as well, which people like. But also, manager said she likes how just throughout this pandemic, she said I've just kind of jumped into a new way of work and like home working, and I'm helpful. I help other people as well. Like I'm sort of branching out into the unknown and just kind of rolling with all the different changes and being open-minded and positive about how we can make things a bit more like be positive about the change and not like and be a change ambassador for others, like like express to other people like how like different ways of working, like doing something differently doesn't have to be scary. It can be a positive, it can be fun, it can be mentally stimulating. So yeah, I got commended for that, for being open-minded, eager to like pick up new stuff and not really phased about get phased about coming up with new solutions to stuff, like innovating. Like she called me innovative, which did make me laugh because I thought I don't think I am like a I'm not really trailblazer, but I guess I do try and I imaginative, and I try and if it's a negative thing happening, I try and see the positive. Sorry. And likewise, if it's a positive, I sometimes see the negative. Like I'm a bit open-minded to a fault really at times, but it can be a good strength as well because I can see all the other faces of the dice. I think what I like about myself is I guess I try and do the right thing even when I've made personal mistakes. Either I've made a mistake at work with processing information and sending off the wrong referral, or in relationships if I've taken something to heart and door slammed someone, but actually they had good intentions which I took wrongly, and I've perhaps damaged relationship a little bit. I'm able to look at everything and think, right, you know what, I've got to readdress everything, and I've got to Sorry, I'm lost a train of thought. Yeah, sorry. I've got good intentions and I like to fix mistakes. So yeah, in a relationship, if I have made a bit of a mistake or had a conflict with someone, I'm very eager to kind of patch everything up and make amends and move forwards rather than keep repeating the same mistakes. So yeah, I'm very, very much, I'm not saying I'm a saint, but I try to do my best, and when I know I've not done my best, I want to make everything right again. Also, yeah, I'm proud as well, which I haven't been about this, but in this situation I am proud because I have let like my mental health slip because I've been kind of make sure everyone else is okay and put myself last. But I am proud that despite my feelings going on inside my anxiety, I have still tried like been nice to people and had people reach out to me and like offer them support. So I've been doing that while I've been struggling with my own problems. So I think that probably is a sign of good character, or at least someone who's not selfish. What are your weaknesses? I've probably oh sorry. What are your weaknesses? What criticism do you often face from others? And what do you dislike about yourself? I kind of said, yeah, I think my open-mindedness can be a bit of a weakness as well as a strength, because it said I see all different sides of an issue, which is great because I have all these different perspectives and a bigger picture of what's going on. I can kind of get on with everyone because I can see everyone's points of view which are going on. But at the same time, I'm indecisive. I probably come across as a bit of a like I don't know what I want or who I am. I mean, even when it comes to typology, I can't really settle on a type as such because I can see all the other options. And the open-mindedness probably does come across that I don't really care about anything, which is not true, but it probably does come across that because I don't have really any strong convictions. I have things I really, really like and things I don't really like, but I'm always open-minded to, new information. I could change my mind. You just don't know. So yeah, my weakness. Yeah, I'm probably not the best to go to for a decision. As I said, I think being sensitive is a positive, but it can also be a weakness at times when I get too caught up in my headspace, get too emotional, too anxious, care too much what people think about me. Don't really do a lot as a way to kind of feel safe and in control, but actually it's at times it's because I'm worried about being like vulnerable and sensitive out in the world in case someone deals me like a psychological blow that I can't handle. Like one of the worst moments I had, it was at a previous job, and I'd made just a minor mistake. I was still new in training, but this colleague at the time like really ranted at me and like called me stupid, said I was like, making a mess of everything. Like she basically told me everything I was afraid I was doing wrong all along. but not in like a way of how I can get better. She was just attacking me, like confirming my worst fears about myself. And that took me a long time to recover from. I left that job shortly afterwards. I couldn't stomach it. So I kind of, I think I worry a lot that something like that was horrible. Hasn't really happened again yet, but it probably will at some point in my life. And I know I'm sensitive, and I will really take it to heart. And I just hope like next time I'm perhaps a bit more resilient and not so doubtful of my own like goodness or my own capabilities, that I just think, right, well, it says more about them than me. Also say, don't know if it's a weakness as such, but I'm not good at maths at all. Well, I can do basic maths, but I've got a little form of number dyslexia, so I mix numbers up, which isn't really the best when you work in admin. But luckily I don't really have to work with numbers in my job. Right. And what areas of your life can you manage well on your own? And what areas of your life would you like help? Sorry. I think I can manage probably, weird to say, I could probably manage my career well on my own, even though it's not really been a plan to it. And I said I don't feel like it's my ideal, but I can get on well with everyone at work, and I can do my job, and if there's any training needs, I'm able to identify them and know what to do to move forward. I can also manage in a way how I'm feeling, like mentally, like emotionally, and probably also physically as well. Like I know when I know if I'm starting to get under the weather. Like, if I'm getting a tiny bit of a headache, I'll think, right, I'll take paracetamol, or I'll put the cooling pad on my head. Or if I'm tired at a theme park, I'll think, right, I'm going to sit down on this bench for an hour just to relax. Like I said, I like my nightly hot drink before bed because it helps settle me and send me to sleep. So I think I'm actually, which I never really thought of it as being a strength as such, but I do kind of know what, like my, like how to look after my body. To I've always felt like I never really related to ever being a sensor, was because I thought I'm so in my head and daydreamy. Now when I think about things, I think I'm quite good at knowing what's going on with me and how to kind of fix it to some extent. And emotionally, like I'll know, right, I'm feeling a bit upset today. I'll go, I mean, I'm getting better at talking about my feelings, but usually my thing was to bottle up. But now I'll trying to think along the mindset, right, I'm upset about my feelings. Who can I talk to? Or can I vent this in a diary to feel better? Or I'll think, right, I'm going to go have a long bath, play music because that should calm me down. I'll play mindful meditation videos. I'll watch a Disney film to cheer up. So I can actually. I think I can look after myself, and like I said, in my career, I feel like I'm I'm doing all right. I think. What areas would I like help? I think I'd like help and like having a having my probably developing confidence. Yeah, getting a bit more confidence to explore the world, like have also a better idea of what my full potential is and like what I can or can't do, like what's realistic and what is really fanciful, and how to blend them ideas and meet them in the middle so that I'm getting a bit more of a fulfilled life, like I'm exploring and coming out my shell, but I'm not losing myself, if that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, probably I do need, I think, a lot more help with having a bit of confidence and having like decision making, yeah, decision making and having the courage and my convictions, like sort of following a path, but then following it and being quite assured of myself that, like, trusting that I am doing the right thing for like everyone involved. Right, what things do you dislike doing and what things do you enjoy more than others? Said I dislike maths and banking. Also, yeah, dislike having to um, not confront people because we don't confront them, but having to address sensitive issues with someone that may offend them. Like, yeah, it was my younger brother. He's kind of been eating a bit more food in lockdown, and he has gained a little bit of weight and not really been so healthy. And it has been a bit of an elephant in the room. I mean, as my dad who's told him, that things need to change. But when I did notice it myself, but I thought, like, how would you tell him? Because that's really gonna like upset him. And like, yeah, because he gets quite sensitive about how he looks, and he does eat as a comfort thing. So I thought it's gonna really upset him, and I didn't, no, I just didn't like. Sometimes it's necessary to say like the harsh truth to people, but I find it like the idea of me having to do it is really worrying. But what things do I enjoy more than others? Probably my alone time. Now, some people think I'm a bit strange because I can go on holiday alone and not really feel like I'm missing out on company. Like I enjoy being with people. Like, yeah, like my close ones. I enjoy spending time with them, but I do like my own time and space as well. So kind of mentally go off elsewhere. I can just do what I want to do and not have to worry about pleasing everyone else. I do I do really like my alone time. What goals, aspirations, or plans do you have for the future and why? I find this, I don't know, like just to be a bit more of a well-rounded person, like perhaps be a bit better in confidence, exploring the world a bit more, like traveling, um, perhaps a career change, like doing something a bit more along my ideals, like writing, HR, working with vulnerable people. It's nothing really concrete. I'd like a relationship, but with someone who, like, it's harmonious with, like, that we work together well as a team, as a double act, and like make a life together. Yeah, I don't know really. I want things to change just from how we are now. I, but I'm not quite. I don't want to say where I'm at is not a good place, because it's better than where I was. I'd like to be perhaps in a different career and keep my relationships I have, but perhaps develop more like intimate and engaging bonds with others. If you won the lottery and didn't have to work anymore, what would you do? Probably travel the world, actually. Travel the world and maybe like do charity work, probably towards like conservation, like sort of protecting animals, maybe foster children as well. If I had my own, like raise my own family, yeah, look after animals, like animals that have been neglected or abused. Yeah, travel the world and be a lady of leisure. Next one. Sorry, it's gone on for so long, I've been waffling. What traits do you find endearing that others might dislike? What traits are considered positive and neutral by others but tend to annoy you? I, I quite like it when people are a bit when they're upfront, like not in a nasty way, like being like aggressive or rude to people, but when they sort of sometimes they say something that's, yeah, a bit witty, like what everyone else has been thinking, like they speak the truth. And if I think, oh my god, they just said that, like that's brave of them, but yeah, I find it endearing what others probably think, well, they come across as really, yeah, sarcastic or patronising or morally superior, when they're just sort of saying like a matter of fact thing. And what is it? It's in some of the programs I've watched, some of the best characters to me have been the ones with like sassy one-liners, like, or like a villain, or like when I see the hero go, I will go, oh my god, I'm sick of my life with them, and that just like it tickles me because I think, oh yeah, it's true. It's true. It's like the stuff I wouldn't really say, but other people say, so it's like, I don't know, it amuses me at times. But as long as it's not like really rude, like really vulgar, rude or mean. I think the trait people consider like positive or at least neutral, but which annoys me, it sounds silly, it's when someone's on Facebook and they put lo and behold, I read the comments and everyone is like, oh, you look great, you look fantastic. And I sort of think, well, it's not so much the people commenting the positive stuff. To me, that's perfectly acceptable and normal. But it's the people when they fish for compliments. I think that's the bit that gets my goal up. Whereas I think, even though I probably do it as well, maybe, but when I see other people do it, I just cringe, because I think it's really blatantly obvious that you're saying stuff which is not true, and you're saying it so that people comment and you get bigged up. So yeah. Also hypocritical people. That probably does annoy people, but then others might not get so annoyed by it. I just find if someone says like, oh, I would never go into that supermarket, and then you see them go into them, but then likewise people change their mind, don't they? So that's probably a bad example. I don't know, not a lot really annoys me, like, and even the thing about people fishing for compliments, I can kind of understand why they would do that. Like I said, I probably do that sometimes in a different way, so I don't know, this is hard. About what annoys me. Oh, trolling people, people just saying stuff online just to be controversial and start drama. Other people probably don't really give two hoots about it, but I get like really annoyed. That's all I can think of. Um, right. What kind of things do you do to manage and or beautify your environment, which is your room, your house, etc.? Um, I personalize stuff in a way, like how my room's full of like different trinkets that important. Like, how do you react to conflict? Right. Yeah, I I cry. I take it really much to heart. I get defensive. I might say something back to them, like tell them off, like how dare you, or that's really mean, and then I'll leave the scene. But I take that with me, like the insult, and I don't know, it's not a comfortable thing really. When things like that would happen at school, I still remember it now, and I still can feel quite low about those moments and internalize the insults. So yeah, I try to avoid conflict best as possible, but I'm also aware that it is healthy in a relationship. Like, depending on relationship and depending on conflict, but a little bit of disagreement, like that's okay, and people getting annoyed at each other is okay. So I'm working on sort of think, right, sit with the uncomfortable feelings, and if I want to keep relationship with a person, we have got to talk about why we've butted heads and what we can do to have a solution that works for us both. But I need that time at first just to kind of step back from everything and calm down. Like, I don't think I could go in straight away and be like, we can talk about this like civilized adults. I think I need that moment or so to kind of lick my wounds a bit. Ever feel stuck in a rut? Yes, right now. If yes, describe the causes and my reaction. It's kind of just being, because it's my lack of confidence. It's also kind of just going with the flow of life, but then now realising I've flowed myself into a corner, and I've not taken as many opportunities as I should have done in the past. And that was because of my lack of confidence, and now I'm feeling a bit stuck and kind of a bit like, I feel like I'm looking for opportunities, like different branches I can get out and explore, but I'm a bit doubtful, especially with a moment the way the world is, like how things will turn out. So like, I've really got to do some proper thinking and find like realistic solutions how I can really move forward. Would I be interested in starting a business? They really thought about I don't know. I wouldn't say like never say never, but I don't know really. It's not really been something I've been interested by business. Um, I'd probably join someone's business to support them, but I'm not sure what business I would want to engage in. Yeah, I think part of it would be because me not being so good at maths, and business you've got to be quite marketable and a bit push through, which I'm not sure I'm the best at doing that by myself alone, so I'll probably need a lot of support with that. Hey, how do you dress or manage your appearance? Kind of I don't really follow trends as such. I think I prefer more like classic styles that timeless, like that I could wear year after year and not look like really stand out too much. What were you like as a child, and how have you changed since then? I don't think I've really changed a lot since I was a child. I've always been a bit content in my own company, like daydreamy, hard working at school, like a bit of a perfectionist, worrying what other people thought, but wanting to get on with everyone, sensitive. I'm probably just a little bit taller now and a little bit wiser, but I feel like essentially I am the same person. I don't know if younger me would be proud or not, because when I was younger I always daydreamed that when I became an adult I would suddenly be very tall, very slim, a high flying professional, life together, my own place, like just high flying. And I don't know, I'm probably a bit more of a low soarer at the moment than high flying, but I guess yeah, I'm me. Whether happens or hasn't happened, I'm still me. I'm not changing. Yeah. Do you like kids? Why or why not? Okay, I do like kids. I find them so. I find babies cute and sweet. I think everyone does. Or if you don't, I'll question how you can't find baby things cute. So yeah, I like kids. Toddlers are funny. Kids are again like many adults. Uh, some of them are like very wise, others very idealistic. You know, I think they're a lot more free in expression. Like they've not been molded by society yet to like yeah, they've not been molded by society, so they're a bit more just true to themselves without really worrying too much what expectations are placed on them. They're just wanting to do what they want to do. I I do kind of pride myself that when I go out and about and I see like a little baby or child or toddler, I pride myself because they tend to, you know, they make eye contact with me, and sometimes we have a little smile or wave, or come up and play about. And I like to think, well, at least if anything, I'm approachable to the young ones. I I would I would like kids of my own one day, but I don't know how that would really work out. Like I want kids, but I don't know really. Like I don't think like I want kids, but I don't think it's like the all and end all of life, and I don't want to just be then classed that I've had a kid, so I'm a mum, and now that's all I am. And it scares me a little bit to think that will be someone who's like entirely dependent on me. So, and I'd like to find the right person to have the kid with. But otherwise, I quite like the idea of adopting as well as fostering, like sort of helping child out in need, who's like give them another chance. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I like kids. You can put that down. I like kids. Right. I won't do any more questions because I've seen this as an hour 20 video, so it's quite long, and I do apologise for that and the rambling. So I will stop this there. And thank you for watching this all the way through, and thank you in advance for your feedback.